Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
We'll start in 2 minutes. Okay, guys, good morning. We shall start now. Yeah, I'm audible to everyone.
Yes,
Yes.
So you're able to see the screen now, guys, everyone.
Yes.
yes.
Okay, so we shall start now. Let the people join and we'll start up. Okay, guys, so now we were just looking into this ADB. So I'll just brief up once, refresh it once before we move further. So, guys, Azure Databricks. Okay, so what is this? Azure Databricks. So, whereas in short, we call it as the ADB. In short, we call it as what? ADB. That is Azure Databricks. Wherein, what is Azure Databricks, guys? Can you just tell me? Guys, let us make the session interactive. Just try to interact with me. So, what is ADB? ADB stands for Azure Databricks, and this is a service. It is a service. It's not a software. It is a service provided by what? Provided by Microsoft. Provided by the Microsoft. And why this service is provided, guys? Can you tell me? to perform the job of extraction, transformation, and loading. That we, in short, we call it as what? ETL. That we call it as what? ETL. All of you following? Yes, guys. All of you following or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Answer the question. So ETL stand for what? Extraction, transformation, and the next one is loading. So the ADB stands for what? Extraction. There is a ADB stands for Azure Databricks, and it is used as a service. It is used as a service. It is used as a service to perform the job of extraction, transformation, and loading. Now, guys, this process called extraction, transformation, and loading requires, what is that, guys? Can you tell me? It requires the following. What is that? It requires, already we have discussed yesterday, just I'm brushing up to move further. Yes, guys, the process of ETL requires, what is that? Source. And the next one is called as what? We require what? Source and the target. Source and the target. Whereas source is nothing but, it is also called as, for your convenience, I can say source of data. It is also called as what? Source of data, wherein the target is referred as, what is that, guys? The target is referred as destination. The target is called as what? Destination. Whereas between the source and the target, between the source and the target, and to apply the process of, what is that? ETL. The ETL is performed between the source and the target. So it is just like extraction means a process of picking up the data. Transformation is nothing but just changing the data according to the required that is the requirement, and then loading the same. Whereas for this ETL, we are using the service called what? ADB, which is provided by the Microsoft. Okay, everyone, it is provided by what? Microsoft. So hence, between the source and the target, between the source and the destination, between the source and the destination, we apply, what is that? ETL. That is nothing but extraction, transformation, and loading. So now guys, what is source of data? Source of data is nothing but a place where you can find the data. Guys, everyone. So a place where you can find the data. A place where you can find the data. A place where you can find the data is referred as, what is that? Source of data. It is referred as the source of data. So what are the different type of source of data we can have? Already we have discussed yesterday, guys. I want an answer from you guys. Yes, everyone. What is the source of data? Yes, guys.
Banking, human generated, machine generated, social networking data.
Okay, that's fine. Source of data is nothing but a place where you can find the data. A place where you can find the data is called as what? Source of data. So whereas the source of data can be, we can find it in what? In the form of the files. That is called as what? Data files. And these files can be various types. Am I right, guys? These files can be various types. What is that? That is called as what? Excel files. Excel files. And then we have, what is it? CSV files. Excel files, CSV files, and then we have what? JSON files. That is called as what? JavaScript object notation files. And then we can have, what is that? We can have the XML files. All of you, am I audible, guys? XML files. Then we can have HTML files. Etc.
Parquet files.
Parquet files, Avro files, etc. etc. Anyways, so these are all the various type of files we have it, where we can find the data, which can be source of data. That is nothing but the source of data. Data means what, guys? Information. Data is nothing but what is it? Data, call it as data is nothing but information. So I'm writing in short info. So whereas the data is nothing but information. So we can find the information in the following. What is it? Files. So what is information? Based on the information only, the whole process, the business process runs off. Am I right, guys? That is the whole business process runs on. Whole business process runs on the data. That is called as what? Information. So information we can find it in what? In this following type of files. Whereas apart from this, we can also find the data in what is that? Databases. Yes, guys, am I right? Databases. So what is database? A place where actual data is recorded in the form of a table. Database is nothing but a place where data is recorded in the form of what is that? Tables. So what do you mean by table? A table is the correct collection of what is that, guys? Rows and, yes, everyone, rows and columns. Am I right, guys? Rows and columns. A table is the collection of what? Rows and columns. Rows and columns. Whereas the database is the another place where you can find the data, which is nothing but called as a source of data. Yes, guys, everyone, source of data. Whereas the source of data, we can have the following. What is the databases? We can have what? Oracle database. We can have what is that? Oracle database. And then we can have what's it? SQL Server database, etc. So these are the type of databases we can have. Apart from having the data, guys, apart from having the data within the Excel files or within the files and the database, what is the other source of getting the data? Can you tell me, guys? Yes, guys, what is the other source of getting the data? Live streaming data. That is called as what? Live streaming data. We can also get the data from the live streaming source. Okay, that is nothing but the live streaming data, where we can get the data. That is called as what? Live streaming data. So these are the various sources of getting the data. Now, guys, apart from this, I'm just brushing up this. We have not moved it further. So yesterday, whatever we have discussed, guys. So okay, I'm just making off. So now, guys, once this is nothing but the source of data. So what we do from the source, we pick up the data by using the process called extraction, transformation, and loading. And this process of extraction and transformation and loading, now we are going to perform by using what is that? The service called what? ADB. What is that? Azure Databricks. Okay, guys. Then afterwards, what is that? You have it. Yes, guys. After that, we can have what is that? Various source of getting the big data. That means I can say various source of getting the big data. So what do you mean big data, guys? Can you tell me, guys, what do you mean big data? Big data is nothing
Huge
but
information.
huge information. Yes, that is nothing but huge information. Massive amount of information is called as what? Big data. So we can have the following. That means we can get the massive amount of data in the form of what is that? Or that is nothing but we can get it from what? Social networking sites. The social networking sites. Then we can also get the data from what is that? Machine generated data. Machine generated data. And then we can also have what is that? Human generated data. Now, guys, apart from the human generated data, machine generated data, we can also get the data in what? Yes, guys, banking applications. We can also get the data from what? Banking applications. Okay. Then afterwards, we can also get the data from what is it? IoT sensors. Etc. These are all the sources of getting the big data. And from these sources, we can get the data either in the form of what is that, guys? Tell me now. Either in the form of what? Databases, else in the form of what? Files. From all these sources, we can get the data from what? Either in the form of what? From all these sources, that is nothing but from all these sources, We get the data either in the form of databases, files. Okay, so these are the various types of getting the, that is nothing but data. We can get the data from the following. That's it. Now, guys, when it comes to this, now we have extracted the data. Now, what is the next process you have it? Let us see here the storages. So, what is the storages? Storages in AD, that is so storages in Azure. Now we'll discuss the storages in Azure. So now, guys, what do you mean storages? Tell me now, what do you mean storages, guys? Storages is nothing but a place where you can store the data. Guys, what happens here? All of you just have a look here. I'm explaining you. Suppose I have accessed the data from an Excel file. Okay, access the data from the Excel file. After the data is picked up by what? Who is picking up the data, guys? Here, who is picking up the data? ADB will pick the data. ADB will pick the data. That is called as what? Service called Azure Databricks. After the data is picked up, the data need to be stored into the Azure storages. Into what is that? Azure storages. The data need to be picked up in what is that? Azure storages. So here, the data need to be stored into the Azure storage. That means from the Excel file, we pick up the data and store into the Azure storages. We pick up the data from the CSV and store into the Azure storages. We pick up the data from the JSON and store into the Azure storages. And we can pick up the data from the Oracle database and store into what is that? Azure storages. So these Azure storages, guys, is commonly used by all the services. By all the services. What are the services you have? Can you tell me, guys? What are the services you have it? Tell me now. The first service is what? We are looking into this ADB. That means the storages is commonly used. The storages are commonly used by all the services. Those services are nothing but called as what? ADB is the first service, and we can also use the ADF, and we can also use the Synapse. These are all the services, guys. These all services can use the common storages. What are the common storages we have it? Azure storages. So now we'll discuss the Azure storages. Okay. So now, guys, in Azure, to store the data, we require the following storages, or we have the following storages. Those are nothing but, what is that? The first one is called as what? The first one is called as what? Azure, guys, blob storage. The first one is called as what? Azure blob storage. Everyone, the first one is called as what? Azure blob storage. Okay. Okay. What is it? Azure blob storage is the first type of storage we have it. So now the second storage we have, what is it? Azure Data Lake Gen 1. Azure Data Lake Generation 1. Then next one, what is it? You have it. Yes, guys. So here you have it, the same one that is called as third one, which is nothing but which is called as the Gen 2. Whereas, guys, the Gen 1 is going to retire in 2024. So hence the entire data, whatever you have it currently even, so that is being migrated from the Azure Data Lake Gen 1 to what is that? Gen 2. Apart from this, guys, we can also have the data. We can also store the data in the Azure in the form of what is it? Azure, guys, SQL database. This is a storage. Now, guys, the fifth one is, what is it? You have it? Azure Elastic Pool. Elastic Pools. And the next one you have, what is that? Azure Synapse. Okay, Azure Synapse. And the next one, what is it? You have it? Azure Cosmos DB. Cosmos DB. That is called as Cosmos DB, where it is called as what? NoSQL database. Where it is called as what? NoSQL database, which is nothing but where we don't use the SQL commands. So this is nothing but the NoSQL database. So right now, this is a very trending one. NoSQL database, Azure Cosmos DB, which stands for what? NoSQL database, which we call it as what? NoSQL database. So these are all called as what? Storages. So guys, we pick up the data. Guys, we pick up the data from the source. either in the form of files we have it, we may get it in the form of files, we may get it in the form of database, or whatever the live streaming data you have it, we get it into the Azure by using the ADB, that is called as Azure Databricks, and we store the same into the Azure storages. Into what is that? Azure storages. We store the data into what is that? Azure storages. We store the data in what is that? Azure storages. So that means Azure stores the data first. Now, guys, everyone is following or not? Please tell me now.
Yes, following.
Yes.
Yes, one or two guys. What about rest of you? If you want, I can repeat it once again.
Yes,
Guys.
following.
Yeah, if you want, I can repeat it once again for you or give you some example. If you're not following, please let me know. Somebody, please. Yes, guys. See, this is nothing but suppose you're going to a supermarket, all of you. Suppose you're going to a supermarket and you have picked up some goods, some vegetables you have taken and you build it. Now, guys, you get those vegetables from the supermarket, and after you get those vegetables, where do you keep it? Tell me now. Tell me now. Where do you keep it? You bought the vegetables from a supermarket, and you just bought the same to your home. And once the vegetables you got it, where do you store it? Tell me now. In the refrigerator. In the refrigerator. So refrigerator is what? Is your storage area for the vegetables. Am I right, guys? That means from the supermarket you're picking up the data, and after you get from the supermarket you're picking up the vegetables, and once the vegetables is picked up and you purchased it and you bought it, you get the same and store it into your refrigerator. So now, guys, refrigerator is called as what? Your home storage. Am I right, guys? Your home storage for vegetables. Your home storage for what is that? Vegetables. In the same way here also, we get like vegetables, we get the data here, and we pick up the data. Okay, we pick up the data using the service called ADB, using the service called what is it, guys? ADB. And we store the data ultimately towards that storages, that is called as what? Azure storages. So what are the commonly used Azure storages? These are all called as the commonly used Azure storages. These all are called as what, guys? Commonly used Azure storages. Commonly used Azure storages. It is common for ADF, it is common for ADB, it is common for Synapse, any service you use it, it is common. So we can store the data in the following. Okay, guys, everyone is clear now? Yes, am I right, guys? Everyone is clear?
Yes, sir.
So now, next one, after this, what is it? We have to know the components. Yes, guys, what is the problem? Just put it in the mute mode, somebody. Components in ADB. Components in ADB. Just put it yourself in mute mode, somebody. So components in ADB. So now, guys, what do we make components in ADB? These are the components which is required to initiate the process. What we are doing? We are picking up the data, no, guys? We are picking up the data from the source. What is that source? This is the source, you have it. The source, you're picking up the data and getting into the Azure storages. So to get this data, to perform the entire process, until the time you send it to the destination, till the time you send it to what is that? Destination. Till the time you send it to the destination, guys, we require to use the following components in ADB. What are the components? The first component here, guys, is called as what? Yes, the first component is called as what? Pipeline. Pipeline. So what is pipeline? Pipeline is nothing but it is responsible for orchestration of the data from the source to the target. It is responsible for orchestration of data from the source to the target. That is called as what? Pipeline. Orchestration of data from the source to the target. That means to get the data from the source to the target, we require to load the data into a data pipeline, that is called as what? Data pipeline. So here we can say data pipeline. The full name of this, what is that? Data pipeline. Whereas, let us try to understand what is a pipeline. Yes, guys, what is a pipeline? Let us try to understand it. Guys, you have an overhead tank. From that overhead tank, you get the water. How do you get the water? Tell me now. Yes, guys, in your tab, you get the water now. You have an overhead tank, and from that overhead tank, you get the water into your tab. How do you get it? Can anyone tell me, guys?
Through pipes we get.
Exactly, through the pipes we get it. So we can say that the pipe is a source of getting the water from the overhead tank to your tap. So we can say that the pipe is responsible for flow of water from the overhead tank to your tap. Destination is your tap. Destination is your tap, and overhead tank is your what? Source of water. Getting my point? In the same way here also, we have the same. That is nothing but the pipeline is responsible for flow of data, that is from the source to the destination. Here you will have a pipeline. So I am just picking up now, guys. I'll just make it off here. Can you see here? This is a pipeline. So here what happens? The data is available in the source. From the source, using this, can you see it? From the source, here you will have, what is that? Using the ADB, using this ADB, we design a pipeline. We design a pipeline here. I'm just writing it. We design a pipeline. So that means we design a pipeline. So under this pipeline, guys, under this pipeline, by the ADB, by the service called ADB, uploads the data or loads the data into a pipeline. So hence this pipeline is called as what, guys? Data pipeline. It is called as what, guys? Data pipeline. This pipeline is called as what? Data pipeline. This is called as what? Data pipeline. Getting my point, all of you? This is called as what? Data pipeline. So data pipeline or a pipeline, whatever you have it, it is nothing but it is responsible for flow of data from the source to the target. And where does the pipeline ends, guys? Here the pipeline ends. Before the destination, the pipeline ends here. All of you clear now? So between this pipeline, the entire data flows off. Yeah, guys, you following or not? Please answer my question or answer me so that I will. Yeah. So now between this, that is nothing but between the source and the target, the data will flow within a data pipeline. That is called as what? Data pipeline. Here, all of you. Now, guys, here, can you see? The next one is called as the mount points. Mount points. What is mount points? Mount points are those which creates the connection between, okay, the storages and the pipeline, or we can say the storages and the pipeline connection string, that is storages and the pipeline. Now, guys, the data is stored here. For example, guys, you want to meet the Chief Minister of Telangana. Yes, guys, we require to meet the Chief Minister of Telangana. You have gone to the Chief Minister's office. So now, once you have been there, can you go and meet him directly? Yes, guys, please tell me. Can you go and meet him directly?
No, we cannot.
No.
So who is that required there?
Receptionist.
Okay, so you will go and meet the person called, what is that? Personal assistant of the Chief Minister. Isn't it or not? You have to go and meet the PA of the Chief Minister. And PA creates that is nothing but PA asks you that is nothing but use and necessity why you want to meet the Chief Minister. So now he takes up the entire information from you and he passes on to the Chief Minister. And ultimately, when time comes, he connects you to the Chief Minister. So now, what is that PA is doing? The PA is mediating and creating the relationship between you and the chief minister. Am I right, guys? Yes, am I right, guys? Everyone?
Yes.
So here also the mount points create the relationship. Now, guys, here you have a storage. What is the storage you have it? Here you have a storage. What is the storage? Can you see here? You have a storage here. So let us make it as blob storage. Here you have blob storage. Okay, what is it? You have it Azure blob storage. So I'm just making it off Azure blob storage. What is it? You have it Azure blob storage. Now, guys, here you have the Azure blob storage. So there, what it will do between this Azure blob storage and the data pipeline, it has to create. We have to have a relationship. So for that, to create the relationship between both of them, we use the mount points. We use what is that? Mount points. Mount points. We use what is that? Mount points. Everyone is okay? Mount points. So mount points creates the relationship between the data pipeline of ADB and the storage. So storage. This storage gets the data from what? From here. From this storages, we get the data and store into the blob storage or whatever the storage you have. So from between the blob storage and the data pipeline, the relationship is maintained or created by what is that? Mount points. What is that? Mount points. Whereas the third component of the ADB here, yes, guys, these are called as what is that? Data sets. But here we also call it as the data frames in Python. Okay, data frames. Data frames are nothing but these maintains these maintains the structure of the data. Structure of the data. So what do you mean data set? Generally, in some other languages, guys, we may call it as a table. All of you know now what is a table? Yes, guys, what do you mean a table? Can you tell me, guys, what do you mean by a table? Yes, guys, can we get an answer from you? Yes? What is a table?
It's a combination of rows and columns.
Very good. So that is nothing but a table is nothing but it is the collection of what is that, guys? Rows and what is that? Columns. A collection of rows and columns. That is nothing but a table. Whereas this kind of a table, here we refer it as what is that, guys? Here we refer it as what? Data set. Okay, or the data frames. Data set or what is that? Data frames in ADB Python. Getting my point? We call it as what? Data frames. It is called as what, guys? Data frames. Clear all of you now? The data frames are nothing but the data will be stored within a data pipeline in ADB in what is that? In the form of a data frame. So here we can say data frame or data sets. Here you can say data sets or data frame. Clear all of you now? Data sets or data frame. Clear now, guys? So now can you see here? All of you are understanding the process or not? Guys, this is very, very important. If you understand this, then you can understand the entire rest of the process. If not, please let me know so that I can repeat or give some example on that so that you people understand it.
Yeah, hi Samir, I have one small doubt here.
Yes.
So here data set or data frame. So data is storing in the form of table. But my doubt is if data is not structured, it means unstructured data. Because unstructured data, it's not contain row and column. So at the time, how you can call it as?
Yes, how we can call it here is we get the data pulling here. So at the time of pulling, what we do is we convert this unstructured data into a structured format.
Okay.
That is the job of a data engineer.
Okay.
That is the job of a data engineer. You may get the data. See, if you have a live streaming data, you may not have any format, particular format, you may not get it. But we have to convert the data into form of proper tables and rows. There actually the logic of the data engineer applies. Getting my point? If you
Yeah.
have the file in XML, or if you have the file in HTML, or if you have the file in JSON, so this kind of files are called as what? Semi-structured data, where you not have a proper rows and column structure. So that is our job, to convert that semi-structured data into what is that? Structured tabular format. Structured.
This Databricks, we can't, transform like, images and audio, video, that kind of files.
Basically, see, audio, video files, all can be accessed of. We can access everything. Databricks can access everything. It's not like that. So that is the reason why, for most of the times, we for data ingestion, we most of the times we are going for ADF. And whereas for the further process, we are using the ADB. In such a case, in most of the projects, it's happening. Okay. So
Yeah.
if at all you have such kind of data. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now, okay, guys. So now here you have, can you see? These are the things we have. It that is called as what? Components of ADB. Now the next one is called as what is that? The next one is called as triggers. Triggers. So now, guys, what do you mean triggers? Basically, the triggers concept, I'll explain you guys. Triggers are nothing but, here, for example, you want to wake up early morning at 5 o'clock. Now, guys, there is a question. You wanted to wake up early morning at 5 o'clock and you slept at 2 o'clock. So now, guys, can you wake up automatically? Yes, guys, can you wake up automatically?
No, sir.
Then what will you do?
We need an alarm to trigger us.
Very good. That means you require an alarm to wake you up, isn't it? So how do you fix an alarm?
Usually like in a mobile or alarm clock.
Very good. So previously we used to have an alarm clock, but nowadays we are using it a mobile phone to fix an alarm also. Now, if you are already waken up at 5 o'clock, will the alarm ring or not?
Yes, sir. But we'll just put it down.
That is okay. That is manual process you're doing it. But you're still waking, already woken up till that time. So definitely, irrespective of your status, whether you're woken up or sleeping, the alarm will ring or not, if you have put it.
Yeah, it will ring.
So whereas that is called as alarm. That means alarm is nothing but it is used to wake you up on a given time or a given date, or a given time or a given date, whatever you think you have it. In the same way here also, the triggers concept is used to kickstart. It is used to kickstart a pipeline. It is used to kickstart a pipeline on a given date or given time, on a given date or given time. That means you want to start this data pipeline. Data pipeline, you have designed it, guys. What you have done, can you see here? I have designed the data pipeline. In this data pipeline, I have attached, that means this entire data from the source, I have attached it, and I've created the mount points, and storages are ready, everything. But to fill in the data from the source to the destination, to reach the data to the destination, we need to run a pipeline. We need to, what is that? Run the pipeline. Am I right, guys? We need to run the pipeline to load the data into, what is that? Destination. So hence, in this case, we require to start the pipeline. That is called as what? Kickstart the pipeline. So whereas to kickstart the pipeline automatically, what is that? Automatically on a given time or a given date. That means, suppose I want the process of, can you see here, extraction and loading, not the transformation, guys. Extraction and loading. I want the extraction and loading. I want the extraction and loading on Friday at 2 p.m. And 2 p.m. I may not be there before the system, but it should run. So what should I do now? Tell me.
We'll set up triggers.
Very good. We set up the, yes, we set up the trigger to start the pipeline, to kickstart the pipeline automatically at 2 p.m. on this Friday. So now, guys, what I'm doing, whether I am there in front of the system or not, the pipeline will start picking up the data. Is it right?
Yes.
Yes. So that is nothing but the concept of trigger. Now, apart from this, what is the other concept apart from the trigger? You have the triggers. Basically, apart from the triggers, we can also use one more method that is called as what? Debug. Debug is manual method of running a pipeline. Debug is nothing but it is called as what? Manual method of running the pipeline. Okay, whereas trigger is nothing but it is called as automated method of running a pipeline. Okay, you design the pipeline, trigger it to run at around 2 p.m. today on Friday, that is the 30th of September 2022. You go anywhere, the pipeline will run at that particular given time. That is called as what? Trigger. Whereas debug is nothing but manually you have to run it. So whereas the triggers basically mostly used here in the production environment. Okay, production environment and even in the development environment. If you have a development project, guys, if you have a development project or if you have a production project, almost every time we design the triggers and leave it as it is. Whereas if it is a testing environment, then you can go with the debug option. Getting my point, all of you? Yes, everyone is following or not? Please come out with your answer. Yes or no, say something.
Yes.
Yes, so whereas these are the two things. So if at all, the triggers are mostly used in the production environment and development environment, but the testing is mostly used in the that is nothing but the in the testing environment we use the debug, that is manual mode of running a pipeline. Getting my point? So now, guys, these are the few of the what is that components. These are the few of the components in ADB. That is called as what, guys? That is called as what? Yes, that is called as what? Ultimately, that is components in ADB. So now, guys, all of you clear or not? Please. So what is a pipeline? Now tell me, what is a pipeline? Please. What is a pipeline? What it does? Whatever you understood, tell me.
Transfers the data from source to destination.
That's it. Now, what is bound points?
Mod point, it's create the connection between source, storages and pipelines.
Very good. And what is data sets?
Data sets maintain the structures of the data.
Very good. And trigger, what it does?
Trigger used to kickstart our pipeline in a given time or date.
Very good. So now next one after this, the fifth one, we have it here as, yes, guys, activities. Activities. That means what in the activities? The activities is nothing but it is used to mention what activity you want to perform. That is nothing but suppose I'm using copy. Suppose I'm using what's that? Copy. Okay. So that means what it does, tell me now. Copy, if I'm using it, simply, guys, simply, can you see here? Simply, it copies the data from the source. What is my source? My source is the Azure Blob Storage. My source is the Azure Blob Storage. It copies the data from the source, and as it is, it pastes the data. That is called as Control C and Control V. What type of action? What type of action you want to perform on a data pipeline? Whether you want to copy the data or whether you want to write in conditional statements. Conditional statement means what? If then else condition statements. Or you want to use the do until or do while, that is called as for each. Any kind of activity you want to use it. Any kind of activity you want to use it. For that, we go with what is that? Yes, for that we go with what? Activity. So what is activity? Activity is nothing but the type of action, all of you, the type of action you wanted to perform on the data. Simply copy or simply apply the condition statement. That means copy the data. Suppose I'm using copy with a conditional statement. That means if. That means copy only those records where the salaries of the employees is less than 50,000. Is less than 50,000. This is my condition. So now what I am doing? I am using the copy activity along with the if condition. Am I right, guys? Yes, guys.
Yes, sir.
So now, so here, what are the activities I'm using it? Copy activity and conditional activity. These are the two conditional statement activities. So these are the actions. What type of action you wanted to perform on the data? That is called as what? Yes, that is called as what, guys? Ultimately, that is called as what? The activities. Now, the next one, you have it here as, yes, guys, data flows. So now, guys, what do you mean data flows? Data flows is nothing but it is also called as mapping data flows. The full name of this is called as what? Mapping data flows. Now, guys, what do you mean mapping data flows? Mapping data flows is nothing but these are the actual transformations we perform on the data. These are called as what? Actual transformation. See, E, I explained you extraction. L, I explained you loading. But actually, what is T? T is nothing but transformation, guys. T is nothing but called as what? Transformation. So ultimately, the transformation is done here by using what is that? Data flows. By using what is that? Data flows. What about transformation? Suppose I wanted to use the aggregator transformation. Suppose aggregation of data. Okay, aggregation of data. I want to use it. Suppose I have list of employees like this. Can you see here? List of salaries of the employees like this. 20,000. 30,000, guys, 40,000, like this. I want the sum, aggregate the sum. So now tell me, what is the sum of the salaries you have it? 20,000 plus 30,000. Yes, 90,000. The total is 90,000. So now 90,000. So this, but to perform this particular arithmetic operation, that means you're converting these 3 lines data into how many lines data here? Can you see? Only 1 line. Am I right, guys? Only 1 line. So to perform this kind of action on the data, or this kind of what is that? Transformation on the data, we use the activity called what is that? Data flow activity. Getting my point? Sorry, we use the transformations called what? Data flow transformations or mapping data flows, which is also called as what? Mapping data flows. Getting my point, all of you? See, guys, don't get confused here between the what is that? Activities and mapping. Activities is nothing but what? The action you want to perform. Whether you want to copy the data or you want to copy some conditionally, etc., you have to write it here. Okay. Whereas mapping data flows is the actual process of summarizing the data. It is the actual process of what is that? Summarizing the data. So ultimately, the job of a data engineer is to write what? Is to write the transformation. Getting my point? So into the required format, how the data should be loaded, how you should get that required format. Can you see here? We have to load the net profit. Whereas the calculation of the net profit, how do you calculate it? What is the formula we applied? That we do it in where? In the transformation ultimately. Getting my point? So now here actually the detailed records are given in the Excel sheet. And now ultimately you have to find out the net profit and load the net profit. Find out the net profit and load the net profit into the target. So now guys, what is the activity we'll use it? Copy activity will use it. Whereas what is the data flow action we use it? Data flow action we use it as what? Aggregation. We use what is that? Aggregation. We use an aggregation transformation and perform the ultimate thing and load the final output of profit into the data set. And this entire thing will be carried out by whom? By the pipeline. So within the pipeline only all these things comes. What is that? Either it can be the data flows, whether it can be the activities, everything comes under the pipeline only, not beyond the pipeline. Okay, everyone? Getting it, everyone? Yes, guys? Am I right?
Okay, sir.
Yes.
If you're not getting it, please let me know, because this is the last theory class we'll have it. Now we'll start up with the practicals now from the next class or this one, whatever we have it. Please tell me now, because if you don't understand this, it will be very highly impossible for you to understand the further process, guys. Please tell me. If you're understanding, then it's fine. I don't
It's
have
very
any.
clear. It's very clear, Samir.
Okay, that's it. Now, guys, Next, after this, now how does the bricks environment runs actually? Let us try to see this first of all. Okay. Okay, so I will show you guys how does the bricks environment runs. Now here we require first of all the following sequence should be followed. Databricks, guys, Databricks works on, once you start the Databricks, we require to use a workspace, which is called as what? Databricks workspace, which is called as what? Databricks. Guys, what is that? Databricks workspace. So on a single workspace, guys, on a single workspace, okay, we can have, what is that? Yes, on a single workspace, in a single workspace, we can have, what is that? Multiple pipeline can be executed here in a single workspace. Getting my point? So now the workspace, that means first of all you start the Databricks session, and then you have to create the Databricks workspace, and the single Databricks workspace, guys, or we can say multiple clusters. Can you see here? Cluster. What do you mean by cluster? Can you see here? Cluster. So multiple clusters can run on a single workspace. We can run, what is that? Multiple clusters on a single workspace. Whereas we have, what is that? The next one is called as what, guys? The next one we call it as, what is that? Notebook. So now multiple notebook. So what do you mean notebook, guys? In general, tell me, what do you mean notebook? You forget about the subject. Now tell me, what do you mean notebook?
It's a kind of editor.
Notebook is nothing but where we write an information. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
Book is nothing but where we write the information. In the same way,
Yes, sir.
here, whatever the language we use it, whether we use the Scala or R or Python, all the codes we are going to write it on a notebook. And a single notebook, we can write it in a single notebook. We can write the that is any commands in 4 different languages: Scala, Python, R, and SQL. Scala, Python, R, and SQL. So all these are the, that is nothing but languages code we can write on a notebook. And notebook requires to run a cluster. So what do you mean cluster? A group of machines is called as a cluster. Getting my point? Suppose I am having computer A, computer B, guys, computer C. Now tell me how many computers I have it, guys?
3.
3 computers. Whereas the 3 computers together, the 3 computers together is called as what? Cluster. Getting my point? These 3 computers together is called as what? Cluster. Now, guys, I want the computer A to control the computer B and computer C. So have you, I think you all are working professionals, you must know, guys, you have seen the LAN connection, na? Local area network, LAN, LAN.
Yes, sir.
So we do the programming in one computer. It should appear, it will also appear in other computers. Am I right, guys?
Yes, sir.
So how it is possible? It is possible because, yes, it is possible because, why? Because all of them are connected to the LAN. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
So whereas one computer, guys, one computer will control the all computers. That means here you will have, suppose I'm using the computer A to control the computer B and C. So this computer is called as what? Master computer. Am I right, guys?
Yes, sir.
This is called master computer. And these are called as what? Servant computers. Am I right, guys?
Servant or slave nodes.
Slave, very good, excellent. Slave computers. Getting my point, guys? Servant or slave computers. Whereas the cluster is the collection of master computer and slave computer. Am I right, guys? Yes. Cluster is the collection of what? Master computer and slave computer. Getting my point? So now this is nothing but a cluster. So we can have 1 or 100 clusters running off in a single workspace. I can have what's that in a single workspace, I can have multiple clusters. So now guys, this is nothing but the hierarchy. Anyways, I will explain you each and everything. What is Databricks workspace, how it works, what are the things we have it, what are the different type of clusters, what's the different type of notebook in the one after the other. So today, so to cut short the things, I'll start up the session here. That's it. Guys, simply go to the portal.azure.com. Simply go to what is that portal dot, can you see here all of you, portal.azure.com, and now here you have a Databricks. Click on this Databricks.
Yes, Amir.
Yeah.
You did not share the screen. We are unable to. We are see only notepad.
Now you are able to see it.
Yes. Right now we can see.
See, this is the guys, this is the portal.azure.com. What is it? It is portal.azure.com. So all of you just try to log in into this portal.azure.com. And now guys, here you have a Databricks. So you have to start the session here. Okay. You have to start the session here, everyone. Okay, guys.
Yes.
Here you have what's it? Portal.azure.com. So yes, guys. Am I clear, everyone? So how to start up this one? So I will even I'll share you that one. Just a minute. How to start this session? I'll tell you. Open a new portal, a web page.
There is a community edition in your database, right?
Yes, community edition also you can use it. This also you can use it. But in the community edition, few options are not working. So it will not work properly. So you can go with this. Can you see here? Open this. Guys, open this. Any browser I'm opening up. Can you see here? I'm opening a browser here.
I'm not getting community version. Is there for this Azure Databricks?
Yeah, for Databricks, you have a community version also, community edition for using this. Or else you can use this. So simply you can use this Azure session also. Can you see here? Use azure.com first of all. Azure.com. Use it. All of you. Azure.com. Now you get it. Now here you can start for free, or else you can go for a pay as you go model. Anyways, I'm getting started here. Can you see here? Click on this button called getting started. Now, once you click on the get started, just a minute. Can you see here? You can go for free or you can sign in. That is go for free, because mine is not a free. This is a paid version. So hence you can go with two models. The first model is pay as you go model. The first model is what is it? Pay as you go model. The first model is pay as you go model. And the second one is what is it? Azure for free. So free means, guys, the cluster creation and all these things may not be possible. So only single machine cluster you can create it here. So I suggest you, all of you, to have it. Pay as you go model will not cost you more. I will show you how to reduce the cost, how to maintain the cost. I'll tell you, don't worry, so that you get only a 500 to 600 rupees per month on this. You're not spending more than that. So, but you have to follow some protocols for that. So guys, so you have, for getting started, what is it you have to use? Simply use try Azure for free. So anyways, this free version will work you for around 1 month. Okay, then afterwards again you have to upgrade it. So rather than taking the free version for ADB, because ADB requires a intensive practice and work, so you can go with the pay as you go model. And once you click on this, guys, so can you see here, try Azure for free or whatever you click it? Can you see here? You have two models, start free or pay as you go models. Any one you can choose it, pay as you go model or start free. So if I click on this pay as you go model or start free, click on this. Now can you see here? It is asking for username and password. That means you have to give your mail ID, you have to give your password, everything you have to give it. Then it will ask you, after this, it will ask you the payment information. That is where you have to give your credit card information, and it will charge only 2 rupees from your credit card initially. Only 2 rupees will be deducted. Then automatically the same thing will continue. And now ultimately it takes you to this particular page. What is the page you have it? Portal.azure.com. It goes to the page called what? Portal.azure.com. This is the actual page of Azure. You can use this in community edition also, but I suggest you to always go with the Azure because it has a more features than all this. Okay, guys. So this is nothing but what is it? You have it, guys. This is nothing but it is called as what? The portal.azure.com. So now click on the Databricks. And now, guys, one more thing. If you could not find the Databricks here, how to search? Simply type here Databricks. Can you see it? Type Databricks. You can type Databricks here like this. So you will get it here. All of you, the screen is visible or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Just click on this, you'll get it. This is the, you can see here, bricks. This is the brick session. So now you want to start the service. So create Azure Databricks service. You want to create because there is no brick service here. So for that, click on the create, or else you can use the blade here, or else you can use the blade also. I'll show you. You can use the create blade, else we can use it here. Anything you can use it. So I'm using the create. Now, guys, this particular thing requires a resource group. What is a resource group? Let us see here first of all. Now, guys, resource group is nothing but resource group. What is resource group? Can you see here, guys? I'm just taking you to the desktop, all of you. This is a folder. I'm creating it right now. This is a folder. Now I'm giving the folder name as ABC main. ABC main. Open this. Open this main folder. Now, guys, I will create some subfolders here. A, B, and now I will have a Word file. C, now I will have an Excel file. D, these are all the things you have it. Now tell me, the main folder called ABC, can you see it? The main folder called ABC having how many files and folders? Can you tell me, guys?
So 2 files and 2 folders.
Very good. Now, if I delete this particular folder, will the files and folder within it will be there or it will go off?
They'll be deleted along with the folder, main folder.
Permanently, it will be deleted. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
So whereas we can say this, the entire data within this particular folder is dependent on the main folder. Am I right, guys? And the main folder name is what? ABC main folder. In the same way here also, the resource group is like your main folder, which holds the entire process. That means within this resource group, you will have the workspace, you will have the workspace, you will have the clusters, you will have the notebooks. Okay, the entire data pipeline can be recorded or will be loaded into a single resource group. So resource group is like a main folder for the entire process. So you have to create the resource group here first of all. So now, guys, you have to create it. How to create it? Click on the create option, resource group. It's mandatory, boss. Can you see here? You have a star symbol. That means it's mandatory. So this is the subscription it has taken already. This is my subscription by default. At the time of creating, whatever the name you give it, you will get that name. So I'm using it as a create, and now I'm using it. What's that? Resource group. So first ADB session. That's it. Click on OK. That's it. Can you see it? The resource group is created or not? So from now onwards, whatever the workspace you create, how many workspace you created, everything will be stored in this particular resource group. Am I right, guys? Are you following it or not? Yes, I want to answer from all of you.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So now
Yes.
give the workspace name. Any name you can give it. There is no restriction for giving the workspace name. So I'm using what's it? Durga Soft workspace. Durga Soft workspace. I'm using the name as what? Durga Soft workspace. That's it, guys. Now this is the name. So ultimately click on what is that, guys? Click on here. You will have a button review plus create. So first of all, if you click review, it will go and check whether you have any kind of workspace with the name called Durga Soft workspace or not. If it is there, it will won't allow you. If it is not there, it will allow you to create it. So now first of all review it. So see what is the validation it says. Validating. Validation passed. What this says, guys? Validation is what? Passed here. That means there is no resource group, there is no workspace with the given name. Now click on the create workspace. So this, once I click on the create, this will take a minute time, guys. So we have to wait for it. This will take a minute time to start the workspace. Just following everyone or not? Please tell me.
Yes, Samir, I have a small doubt here. The subscription is based on hourly basis or utilization basis or monthly basis,
It
Samir?
is based on it is based on the usage of yours.
Usage.
That means if you're creating the storages and you are retaining that storages, then they will charge the storages on the hourly basis.
Okay.
What we are doing is we are creating and deleting it immediately.
Okay.
So only for the usage, I'm using this storages for 10 minutes. Then what happens for that 10 minutes? It will work. That's it.
Okay.
They will
Yeah.
charge. So now this is a deploying. The deployment is under the way. This will take a minute time. We have to wait for this. Just refresh it once to make the process a bit faster. Okay, guys. Let's wait for 1 minute, guys.
Yes, Samir. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, guys, let's wait. Now it has done, guys. Can you see it? All of you? Is it done now?
Yes.
Now this is done. Click on the go to resource. Now, guys, this is your workspace. If you want some documentation, you can find it here. Documentation, getting started documentation. import data files documentation, import data from Azure storage documentation, notebook documentation, or okay, and admin guide documentation. These are all the documentations you have it. But anyways, we don't require. Just check here. Can you see here? We have what is that? Resource group name is first ADB session, and the subscription is ADB, that is ADF underscore ADB. And then the location, I'm using it, the current data center as what? Southeast Asia. I'm using what? Southeast Asia. And this is the subscription ID, my subscription ID it is. Can you see here, guys? And here you have what that? Managed resource group ID. And this is the URL from where you are actually accessing. And the pricing tier is what is that you have it? Can you see here, guys? Premium pricing tier. Okay. So this is the thing we have it. So now guys, click on the launch workspace. Click on what is it, guys? Launch workspace. Everyone is following or not? Please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So this is launching. Now guys, what is the next thing you have to do? Tell me now. This is a sequence. Resource group is ready. The brick session we have started. Resource group we have created. Workspace is ready. What is the next thing you is left out? Tell me now.
Clusters.
Yeah. So now you have to begin with the clusters. Yeah. So anyways, this is not important. So just close it off everywhere. Can you see it? I'm closing it. From the left blade, this is the left blade. Can you see it? Check here. Go to the compute. Go to what is it, guys? Compute. Click on what is that? Compute. And now you can create it here. Click on compute. You can create the cluster. So can you see here? Create cluster. We will discuss this tomorrow. What is all purpose? What is job cluster? What is pool? What is cluster policies? We'll discuss it in the next class. Can you see here? Create. I'm using the create cluster. Now guys, create cluster. So here, just a minute. So here you have what is that? I can give my own name by selecting on the UI preview. Just uncheck this. I can provide any name now. But by default, it has taken some name here. So I want to use the name as what? Durga Soft Cluster. That's it. And now guys, here you have cluster mode. You can create the clusters in 3 modes. What is that? High mode, that is high concurrency, standard, and single node. So now guys, anyways, I will explain you what is basically the standard mode today. High concurrency and single node we'll just see tomorrow. Standard mode, can you see it? Just come to your notepad file. Cluster is a collection of what? A, B, and C computers. Am I right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Whereas A computer controls the B and C. So hence A is called as what? Master computer.
node. Yeah.
Master computer. And B and C are called as what, guys?
Slave.
Slave. So in the same way here also we require that 2 machines. What is that? This is called as a worker machine and this is called as a driver machine. Worker means what? Slave. Worker means what? Slave. So how many slaves? Minimum is 2 slaves required, and automatically maximum it takes the 8. But you can increase it as per your requirement. Doesn't matter. So minimum is 2 workers and maximum is 8 workers. And driver is what? Only one. There will be only one driver, nothing else. And this particular cluster will terminate after 120 minutes of not use. If you are not using this cluster after creation for more than 1 hour, that is 120 minutes, then it will become the idle cluster. It will become what cluster? Idle cluster. That's it. Okay. So now come down. That's it, guys. Now click on the create. That's it. The cluster will create now.
Samir, how to define the workers? That means slaves, okay.
What type of cluster means? You mean to say the high concurrency standard or what? You're asking that one or?
Yeah. Here we can choose minimum workers to maximum
I'll
workers.
explain you. I'll tell you. We'll discuss. Just to complete this particular process, I'm just doing it. I will explain you the whole process tomorrow. how, what is a worker node, and what is this standard mode. Okay, all these
Okay.
things we'll just discuss it tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Okay. And one more point.
Samir?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said that Databricks community edition, where we can find it? Here we can find, or that is separate?
That is separate, not this one.
Okay. Can you please show that how to?
I'll send you the link. You can install that one.
Yeah, please, please send that.
Community edition also you can just make it. That's not a problem.
Yes, please send that.
So this
Hi,
cluster,
Samir.
yeah, go ahead, please, please.
It's showing 14 GB standard DS under worker. It's under worker type. It's showing 14 GB memory. So it's a maximum memory, or what exactly is this? We can increase the memory.
Yes, this is the memory of this particular cluster. You can have it. Can you see here? You can just, it's right now inactive. You can increase it. You have various memories also. 4 cores, 14 memory, 14 GB memory it stores. That is the only thing it means.
So we can increase.
We can increase it, no issues.
Yeah. Thank you.
Samir,
Please, please.
uh, uh, is community version enough for us for our course, or we need to take the advanced version?
Basically, that way it does not support it. Very basic things it supports the community.
Okay. So, do you have any plan of how we can choose that advanced version, low cost?
I will update you on that.
Yeah, sure.
Who is this?
Naresh.
Naresh. Okay, Naresh, sure.
Just now I have installed, I have signed up my account, but I have chosen the community version. So next I don't know what to do. That's the
Okay.
reason
You
I'm
can
asking.
upgrade it. You can upgrade it. I'll tell you.
Okay, okay, fine.
So this cluster creation will take, this will also take a minute time. Now guys, it's the cluster is ready. Can you see here? You got the right mark. That means the cluster is ready now. That's it. Now guys, tell me what is the further process you have it? On a cluster, you can create multiple notebooks. Am I right, guys? Yes?
In a notebook, we create clusters, right?
No, on the cluster, we create a notebook.
Okay.
Not in a. We can create multiple notebooks on a single cluster. We can have multiple clusters on a single workspace. And we can have multiple workspace on a resource group. Getting my point?
Resource. Okay.
This is the thing we have it. So now guys, let's go to this. Can you see here? From the left blade, click on create. And now you can create the, can you see here? What is it I want? Notebook. Now guys, create a notebook, give any name. So I'm using what's it? Sample notebook. Sample notebook. That's it. Can you see here? Cluster is what is it? By default, it's selecting the Durga soft cluster. It's selecting what's it? Durga soft cluster. But in the real time, you may have get list of all clusters, which the cluster you want to run. So you have this one. And now click on the create. That's it. Simple. This will create very fast.
Languages we can choose as per our requirement, right?
Yes. Now, guys, yeah. Can you see it? This is your notebook. And now here you have a languages to choose. You can run this in Python. Default is Python. You can use SQL, Scala, R, anything you can use.
Yeah, Samir, here simultaneously we can use Python and SQL like that. One output.
The same
for...
notebook. In the same notebook you're talking about?
Yes.
No, we cannot use it in the same notebook. We can change it after a period of time.
Okay.
Cell. You mean to say, I mean to say cell here. This is called as a cell. Just a minute. This is called as a cell. In one cell, you can run only one language. Now, if you want, use another cell. Now you can change the language here.
Yeah. So this is what I'm looking here.
Now just use one more cell.
So one cell output is the under cell input. We can use that one with different languages.
Yes, we can use this as an input to the another notebook also.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
This is the thing we have it. Can you see here? I'm using one more cell, and here I can use the R. Can you see here? This cell you can run it in R. This cell you can run it on Scala. This cell you can run it in SQL. This cell you can run it on Python. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Samir.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, guys, thank you very much. So we'll end up the class here. We'll continue tomorrow. Okay.
Samir, why we need to create resource group?
To hold this entire process, everything is lies in a resource group only. It is like a main folder. I told you, no.
Yeah.
So it is to hold the entire activities. What is going to happen here further? We will store it in what is it? One resource group. Okay.
Okay. Fine.
That's it, guys.
Yes, Amir. I had two queries. Here, standard 14 GB minimum, you said that, right? That is minimum you can choose or maximum?
Minimum, that is the minimum. You can choose it, you can extend it. That's not a problem.
Okay. If you can choose 14 GB, there is no price, right? For free trial?
No, you will have the price. Anyways, for free version, you cannot create the standard node cluster. You can create only single node cluster.
Okay. And one more point, can you please share you want to send the Azure Databricks community notes?
Yes, I'll send you the link. Okay, no issues.
So just like one question, this like related to work. Is it possible that a single person might be handling ADF and Databricks project in a single?
Yes, definitely. Why not?
This is like a common case or only specific cases it is?
Specific case, not the common case.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not getting you for project, or he asking project, or we can handle
projects. If
Okay.
it's a small company, you have number of resources are less. So if you are able enough, they will give you the ADB and ADF to handle it. That's not the problem.
Okay. For big MNC, we can.
There are big teams now.
Okay, more resources.
More
that means.
resources. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Tomorrow we have session, right?
Yes, tomorrow we have a session.
Sir, could you just give like little what is it, like differences between ADF and ADB tomorrow, maybe in tomorrow's session?
Definitely.
So classes are Monday to Saturday, no?
Monday to Friday actually, but we have a holidays next week.
Okay.
That's the reason I'm just having it on this week.
Sure, great. The same timings, Samir?
Yeah, same time, 10 o'clock.
Sure.
No changes in the time.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, I have some questions.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So actually, ADB, Azure Databricks will cover that pipelines things or not?
Of course, it will cover the pipeline also.
So if it cover the pipeline, so ADF also have pipelines. We have to learn there.
See, that pipeline also you can design it. Here also you can design a pipeline. Can you see here? We have a pipeline also. You can create a pipeline. Can you see here?
Yeah.
Pipeline.
So there is the ADF and ADB pipelines are different.
Different. No, different in the sense you can access that ADBF pipeline created here in this ADB also. But pipeline creation is more flexible in ADF rather than ADB.
Okay, so here I need a suggestion. If I want to be a data engineer, then I have to cover the ADF and ADB both.
Yeah, obviously ADF and ADB. If you want to become a complete data engineer, you must and should have a good knowledge on ADF as well as the ADB.
Okay,
Because for data ingestion, for data ingestion, they're using it ADF. Once the data ingestion is done, for transformations and for machine learning, designing the algorithms, generating the analytical visualization reports, we are using the bricks. It does not mean that we cannot do it with ADF. Of course, we can do it with the ADF also, but here it is more, this convenient and more flexible you have it. That's the thing.
If I'm like, as you told about ADB, so I'm getting, this is like using big data also in the ADB environment itself, right?
Yes.
Means we don't have to separately have like big data set up for at least for Azure systems, right?
No, you will have a general big data, guys.
Okay.
So you have to get that big data and work. For
Okay.
Azure, see, we have to work according to the client or
Yeah,
the
correct.
customer.
Correct.
The customer
Correct.
is not going to work according to us.
Yeah, correct.
That's it. Thank you.
Sir, after ADF and ADB, a candidate can apply for data engineer.
Definitely.
Okay. Any SQL knowledge also there? So in the course content, you are covering any
Definitely.
SQL part?
Yes, one SQL class I'll give you. The whole basic all commands I'll explain you. This thing
Okay.
one SQL.
Okay. Okay. So the
Yeah,
class will
yeah,
continue the Monday to Saturday.
Monday to Friday normally. Next week we have Dashera vacations are there. So
Okay.
hence I'm taking this Saturday. But classes will be Monday to Friday only.
Okay.
Saturday,
We are the working employee. If the class wind up at 11, that will be fine for us.
we will change the timings. We'll start up at 9 o'clock. Give me some time. We'll start at 9 o'clock. Don't worry.
So ADF also started at 9 o'clock, as
No,
per my knowledge.
ADF is at 8 o'clock.
Oh, ADF will be at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock and 7 o'clock ADF.
Okay.
7
And
a.m. and
AD,
8 a.m. will be ADF. 9
yeah.
a.m. will be ADB. And
Okay.
10 a.m. you will have some, machine learning, all this.
Okay. Okay.
11.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, right. Thank you. No issues.
So when is the next
yeah,
idea?
Samir, one point.
Yes, please.
Yeah, data injection means data injection means data cleaning or
Getting the data into this data ingestion is nothing but getting the data into the environment, pulling in the
okay,
data.
okay, like
Extraction.
okay, like we can data from Parquet file,
Very good.
some Excel file. Okay,
Yes.
that is okay, and we can choose. We can use Databricks in data factory in a big data environment, or only we can use machine learning environment.
No, we can use it anywhere.
Okay, anywhere, either a big data or machine learning, whatever we
Yes,
can use.
yes.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm stopping the class. We'll meet tomorrow, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Samir.
Thank you.